Leaders in Lexington shared results today of a citywide homeless survey. Volunteers canvassed Lexington last month looking for those living without shelter.
That data includes numbers from hospitals, recovery centers, and the school district. Lucy Bryson attended that press conference today. She has the details on their 2024 survey results.
Almost one full month ago, leaders in central Kentucky got together to do a survey on the state of homelessness in Lexington. I have the results of the survey in my hand right now, which leaders discussed today and called for action. The Catholic Action Center partnered with the Central Kentucky Housing and Homelessness Initiative and the Street Voice Council. After a full day of canvassing the city, their count shows that 3,034 people are homeless in Lexington alone. Of that number, 681 people took the group survey. An overwhelming majority of surveyors said the contributing factor to their situation was lack of funding. Following that was housing costs and the loss of a job. These statistics are notably different from the LexCount survey conducted by the city of Lexington in January of this year. Findings today are around 60% higher than LexCount totals. Ginny Ramsey with the Catholic Action Center says their survey also includes people who are in unstable housing, such as hotels and those hospitalized. After looking at the results, many had the winter months on their mind.
Our concern is that we want our city prepared for the winter. We want to be working with real numbers so that we can go forth and know what we're dealing with to care for our brothers and sisters on the streets.
One speaker today called this a citywide catastrophe. Another said that they have hope for change here in Lexington. The group say they'll continue making these efforts to banish homelessness in Lexington. For now in Lexington, I'm Lucy Bryson, WKYT.
And a representative from Fayette County Public Schools says 455 students that have been identified as McKinney-Vento students as of today.